Today we take Kentucky Route 21 east out of Berea, then turn on US Highway 421 down through McKee, which has some options for services. So what's on this route? According to Google Maps, there's a shooting range, Lower Clover Farm Supply, Lakes Funeral Home, and the Welcome Center to Jackson County. Jackson County's slogan is, "Where the mountains and the bluegrass blend." Straight roads are definitely a distant memory now. The daily climbing will be strenuous from here until Richmond, Virginia, and hopefully our bodies are now fit for the challenge.
Good morning and welcome to day 56 of this adventure across America. It is Wednesday, July 10, departing Berea, Kentucky, en route to Booneville, Kentucky, and I think east of Berea right now is kind of where the Appalachians, or the foothills of the Appalachians, start. So we have quite a long stretch here of difficult days with lots and lots of climbing to look forward to and to dread at the same time. You know how I mocked that continental breakfast a couple days ago? Well, this morning I would have been grateful for that continental breakfast. Let me tell you about the continental breakfast at the Econo Lodge in Berea, Kentucky. So it opened at 6:30, and I was done early, so I was there at 6:20, expecting to wait 10 minutes. And at 6:25, I see a lady behind the counter coming out with a tray, thinking, all right, here comes the food. And she brings out a tray that has 5 pre-packaged Danishes and about 8 granola bars, pre-packaged granola bars on a tray. And she sets that out, and she goes back, and I'm thinking, all right, she's going to be making a lot of trips, bringing out all sorts of food and goodies. And then she sat behind the counter and was doing some work. So 6:30 rolled around, and I grabbed one of the Danishes and one of the granola bars, started eating, and then at about 6:35 I went to the desk and I said, will more food be coming out? And she said, the food's already out. I said, so what's for breakfast? And she said, the Danishes and the granola bars and a pot of coffee. That was continental breakfast at the Econo Lodge in Berea. Wow, okay, that's a new low. Just got a friendly beep, 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 and an arm pump from a passing car. Thanks for the encouragement, passing car. Woo! Bit of a rain coming down now. I spent more time and money at convenience stores this summer than perhaps in the rest of my life combined. And it's a lot more common, and I guess maybe I don't know this because I don't spend as much time in convenience stores, but how many convenience stores I've been in this summer, there's no price tags on anything. And so this usually involves me going to the front desk and saying, how do I determine the prices of things? And of course the answer is, well, you bring them to me and I tell you. And so at the last one I stopped at, I'm asking the prices of a ton of things. And wow, was it expensive? Like, I know convenience stores are expensive, but this was much more expensive than other convenience stores. So I would have been very disappointed to see the total if I brought some things up to the cash register at that one. So I gave up, and there's a Family Dollar 4.4 miles away. They have price tags on things, and cheaper prices than a convenience store. I wish I could be stopping at Kroger and Safeway whenever I wanted to, but you can go days without seeing a big grocery store like that. We're definitely in eastern Kentucky now. Certainly parts of it are sad. A whole lot more trailers. I honestly saw 3 shirtless kids around a barrel fire in a front yard. No joke. And then there were 3 houses in a row where it just looked like they had run out of room in the house, and the outside of the house just looked like an absolute garbage dump, storing as much as they could under the patio, and then things spilling out. I'm sure I'll be able to get some footage of them as I continue. Made me think of the book I read a few years back, Hillbilly Elegy, and that was about a man who grew up as a boy between Ohio and then eastern Kentucky, Appalachia, and everything was against him for being successful in life, and he ended up going to a prestigious law school and having quite a wonderful career despite his upbringing. That book is controversial because he kind of presents the case, hey, if you want to, you can, through hard work, lift yourself up by your bootstraps and better your situation. And a counter argument to that is, no, we need more government programs to come in and give a hand up to those. So, and there's dogs. They're fenced in. See, I'm torn on both of those arguments too. Just some of my thoughts on today's ride.
McKee, Kentucky was a dry town until 2019 when a town vote reversed the law. If you don't have much money for a house and you're geographically agnostic, buy in McKee, where the median house value is a mere $107,000. I found the women-men room. Or is it the men's room? I don't know.
I checked the forecast before I left this morning. 0% chance of rain all day. It's been raining for the 2.5 hours of riding since I left Berea. 2.5 hours straight. It's a light rain, but when you spend 2.5 hours in a light rain, it's enough to soak you. And the glasses keep the raindrops from going in my eyes. I stopped at a Subway for a late second breakfast, because obviously the continental breakfast at the Econo Lodge in Berea did not cut it. And yeah, their AC in there pretty cold, and I came in there wet. Oh, that made it worse. I was almost shivering in there. Temperature wise, I'm okay while pedaling right now, but when I stop, if I'm in AC, I get cold. All right, David, let's have a good attitude in the rain. I have not seen much of it this summer and been quite fortunate. In this rain, I'm riding the brakes on a lot of the downhills because blind corners, I don't know if the wet tires on the wet road surface with my wet brakes. Gotta play it safe, unfortunately. I have not come close to my speed record back west of 51.7 miles per hour. I might have hit 40 a couple times east of Kansas. I tried going without the glasses because the glasses were filling up with water droplets and distracting my vision. But then I was getting water droplets in my eyes, so I put them back on. Water droplets all over these. They made like joke glasses with little windshield wipers on them. That's what I need. Windshield wipers on my cycling glasses. Realized I hadn't mentioned what I shipped home. 4 pounds of items, I said. And the first item, oddly enough, was my raincoat. But the thing is, even if I had that raincoat right now, I would not be wearing it it would be so much more uncomfortable than just riding through it in my jersey here. And my rain pants, well, those two things were by far the heaviest of the 4 pounds. And then I had some twine that I had never used. Thought, oh, maybe I'll use it for hanging my food so bears can't get to it, or as a clothesline. That wasn't getting any use. Oh, it's rain. Inflatable lantern that I could put in my tent. I used that a total of 0 times. That was pretty light, but oh, I carry this. What else was in that box? 2 pairs of gloves. I started this trip with 3 pairs of gloves. A pair of full-fingered gloves. I used a ton out west. I don't think I had put those on since Colorado. And then a pair of leather, or pleather I should say, fingerless gloves. And I used those through Kansas, part of Missouri. And then I switched over to my 3rd pair that I use now, but not today because of the rain. They're just a knit glove with some sticky pads on the bottom, fingerless, so I can use my electronics. So the fingerless pleather gloves and the full-fingered gloves were in the box as well. And if I remember what else was in that box, I will share. And a couple of charging cables that were duplicates of what I already had and were going unused. At the 3.5 hour riding mark of the day that had a 0% chance of rain all day, it finally stopped raining. And a little bit of sunshine on me. Look at that. Surprise, surprise.
Frontiersman Daniel Boone is the namesake of Booneville, Kentucky, with its commanding population of 81. I've seen choirs in person with more members than this town has residents. If you're looking to be the best fill-in-the-blank in your town, like maybe the best table tennis player, then move to Booneville where your chances can be pretty good. We are at the Life Center building of the United Methodist Church in Booneville, Kentucky. The actual church building is behind that white building over there, and this is their secondary building. And through those double doors there is a full gymnasium, the second church gymnasium we've had. And I'm looking around for a basketball. I want to shoot a basketball, and I found volleyballs, but no basketballs. And we have a kitchen we can use, and then accommodation rooms down the hallway here. I'll show you the one I'm staying in. It is a gym workout room, which you know I need after a day of cycling, right? I don't get enough exercise, so how about I spend some time exercising in here? And the best thing about this room is that I can spend all the time I want on that to prepare for tomorrow. While I take a short walk here to the grocery store, I'll tell you about a gentleman we met at the dairy bar here in town, which was delicious, by the way. We had lunch at the diner, and then we were still waiting for our host to open up the church for us, so we got ourselves a milkshake at the dairy bar. And he was sitting there, and he's a local, born and raised here, retired, 70 years old, and was a history and social studies teacher here in the school district. And born and bred Appalachian, and he told us so much about Appalachia and its culture and its words. I pulled up a list that I found on Wikipedia of Appalachian words that aren't used elsewhere. And I thought, all right, I'm gonna test this guy, and he was really happy to play. And so I was finding the oddest words and phrases, and he was giving me exactly the right answer for these words. Maybe I'll put some of them up on the screen so you can see them. Here's your daily recap from the Booneville United Methodist Church Life Center lobby. Today's scenery was a 5 out of 10, and the difficulty was a 5 out of 10. I was expecting today to be much more difficult, and it was okay. Tomorrow's a difficult one on paper, and my overall feeling of positivity is at a 9.